She started out the week on Good Morning America, and now she is closing out the week starring in an Adidas commercial highlighting the new shoes that are about to be released. Sophie Cunningham has taken the ball and ran with it. For that, Sophie Cunningham, kudos to you.
The WNBA thought they could silence her, but Sophie Cunningham just proved she doesn't need the league. She is the league. After months of whispers, broken trust, and quiet tension inside the Indiana Fever, Sophie finally stepped into the spotlight, and everything changed. For months, she stayed loyal, played her heart out, supported Caitlin Clark like a sister, while the league looked away. But behind that smile, she was boiling, because Sophie saw it all. How the WNBA never truly respected Caitlin. How every time the Fever tried to rise, something, or someone, pulled them down. Until now.
Being me, and I'm being honest, and I'm being truthful, and there's a lot of people who maybe have the same views that they just don't feel like they can say because you could get fined or people could take it the wrong way, but I just
fined
every single time.
When Sophie finally spoke, it wasn't through a tweet or a post. It was on national television. Under the bright lights of Good Morning America, she looked straight into the camera and said, "If they don't respect us, maybe they don't deserve us." That line changed everything. Within hours, social media caught fire. Adidas, yes, Adidas, dropped their newest global campaign. And front and center was Sophie Cunningham.
Salute to Sophie Cunningham. I like the nickname. Extra spicy. Electric pink. Absolutely awesome. I'm so happy to see Sophie coining it. I'd like her to get enough money to buy a house so that she can play for the team she wants to play for, not be focused on their earnings. Sophie Cunningham, folks, between her Instagram and her TikTok, I'm sure she's already racking in enough bread to buy a house.
The deal wasn't small, not even close. Insiders say it could be worth over $1 billion by 2026. A global partnership built around Sophie's vision, voice, and power. But before she signed, she made one shocking demand. Caitlin Clark had to be part of it. She told Adidas, "No Caitlin, no deal." Loyalty, friendship, respect. That's who Sophie is. Adidas loved it. Meanwhile, the WNBA panicked. Reports say Commissioner Kathy Engelbert and coach Stephanie White scrambled to call her back. But Sophie didn't answer. She didn't need the WNBA anymore. The WNBA needed.
You was just on Good Morning America. You was all out. You got our
Locker rooms went quiet. Whispers turned into fear. Players asked, if Sophie walks, who's next? Caitlin? Angel? The league that once felt untouchable suddenly looked fragile. Then came the next twist. As the Adidas deal hit headlines, Angel Reese fired off cryptic emojis online. Insiders say she was furious that Adidas turned her down months ago. Now Sophie and Caitlin were the face of the brand, the same two players who defined 2025. But here's the truth, Sophie didn't chase fame. She earned it. She stood beside Caitlin when no one else did. And together, they built something bigger than basketball, a movement. On Good Morning America, Sophie wasn't selling a product. She was making a statement. We play with love. We fight for respect. But respect shouldn't be begged for, it should be earned. The studio went silent. Every player watching knew. She just said what they were all afraid to.
ads. Now, you're doing a lot of stuff. You're interviewing famous rappers and actors and actresses and all types of stuff. Now, you was doing your thing with the Phoenix Mercury on the sports broadcasting side.
Minutes later, Caitlin Clark reposted the clip, just one fire emoji. And boom, the internet exploded. Fans flooded the comments. This is the new era. They don't need the WNBA. The WNBA needs them. Inside the Fever organization, panic turned to pleading. Coach Stephanie White reached out privately. "Sophie, we built this team for you and Caitlin. Don't walk away now." But Sophie didn't respond. Not because she was done, but because she was focused on something bigger. A global stage. Caitlin by her side. This wasn't about basketball anymore. It was about legacy. The Fever wanted her back for 2026, but Sophie was already building her own empire. The world's biggest sports brand. Two of the most powerful women in the game. $1 billion deal.
and says there is a different type of effort and extraness to try to maybe get in their head or try to throw them off the rhythm or whatever. And a majority of the times, those superstars, they don't have that kind of feisty or sassiness to kind of back themselves up, and they need their teammates to do that.
Yeah.
And I have first-handedly seen it this year, and I'm like, all right, like if we're not going to protect our star, like someone has to. And so I credit Draymond. I'm like, that has he taken things a little bit too far sometimes? Absolutely.
Sophie and Caitlin, side by side. Not fighting for attention, but redefining.
$100,000 a year, that's enough for a house. So it doesn't necessarily need to be a max contract to get Sophie Cunningham to stay on the Indiana Fever. It just needs to be a quality contract. We respect what you've done for our franchise contract. We understand what you contribute to this team contract. We're not going to undervalue your contribution to contract. That's all it needs to be. It doesn't need to be some massive deal, because I wouldn't give her a max deal either. I'd give her something close to. But I can't give you a max deal when I'm getting ready to pay Caitlin a max deal once her rookie contract's up, right? You get the third year, and then you can extend her and hit her with that rookie extension. I'm sure that's going to be in the CBA. You're going to get ready to pay Caitlin a max contract. You're going to get ready to pay AB, I'm assuming the Indiana Fever, a max contract. Do you want
Finding respect in women's sports. Adidas sees it. Fans see it. Even the WNBA sees it. Because you can replace players, but you can't replace energy, loyalty, and courage. And Sophie Cunningham has all three. The league had a chance to cherish her. Instead, they pushed her toward greatness. Now the question isn't whether the Fever can get her back. It's whether the WNBA can survive without her.